seed bringer. Seed is right in here. I have 115 horsepower on my deck. Right. We own almost that one. There was this spot right here that I thought that somebody might choose to build on and then do work on here with flower beds and stonework and that type of thing.
What would you do? Would you take part of that hill out?
I just take that hill out, even though it's rock.
Yeah.
And like I said, hydro's right there. Build a beautiful home in there, do flower beds, anything in the front to soften the area and make it environmentally friendly. And so now you don't have the view from your home in this location, but you got the waterfront.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want the view from your home, you want the west.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, the east point where we were.
Yeah.
Or you want, we're going to go up on the 30 acres, so there's another beautiful view across there. We don't have deep water here, but we've got beautiful clear water.
Yeah, it looks nice and clean and clear. Yeah. And so pretty and private up here, eh, Gord?
And so you've got about 2 miles down to a dam, what we call the Fall River Dam at North, which our lake runs down through Fall River into Mississippi Lake. And then directly south of us, we've got 5 miles of lake, about a mile wide in the widest 2 spots. And then we go into another lake called Fagan Lake. Yeah. And when you go into Fagan Lake, it's like going through a stream that you'd think was something you might see in Africa. Mm-hmm. And you go in this little stream, and then all of a sudden you come into Fagan Lake. Fagan Lake's probably about 10 degrees cooler than Bennett Lake because it's all spring fed. Yeah. And it's clear as a bell as well. I was talking about from the truck at the top of the hill with the Cedar Point, that would be a gorgeous place to have a gazebo out there, have a coffee or have a glass of wine, overlook the whole bay. And as we look to the west, to the big stone island, the brown roof over here, you might have been around back in the days when they were trying to get approval for my cousin Margot. The brown roof just be on the other side of those 2 pine trees.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't really get any. You might get the odd fisherman drifting by, but you don't get any boat traffic over here.
Carl Pennock talked there the odd time?
Carl Pennock is just down a little further. Point. And before Ernest died, he signed off in the papers and gave it to the Noels because it was no good to them. It's lot bound, and so. But again, there's a swamp behind that hard piece of land between there and the Noels cottage down there, and it'll be never built on. That island is a government island, it'll never be built on. Mm-hmm. So anything you see in front of you to the west is just the way it's going to be.
Sure is pretty. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful piece of property, no doubt.
I just put a new pressure system and everything in it. Okay. And we actually used it for our hunt camp with Marty and the boys last fall. Anybody home?
Hello. Hi, I'm Don Wilmer. My wife and I are the ministers at Gordon Jenny's church, and we sold our house the end of July, and they graciously put us up in this cabin for the month of August when we finished work.
And I told them that you're in the middle of moving, so don't worry about the boxes. But anyway, they'll get a general idea of what the cabin can be like.
The farewell gifts don't go with the cabin.
Yeah, exactly.
There's 130 at St. Andrews and about 170 for the lunch hour.
I worked at the nuclear power station, Pickering.
Oh yeah, right.
And we lived in Oshawa and Whitby over that period
of
time. Yeah, so I'm quite familiar with it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, we're not too familiar with it.
Get together about 3 weeks ago, and I was sitting here from Fort Perry, and I said, United Church ministers coming your way.
Small world.
You'll hear all about it, I imagine. If anything happens, Buddy Elaine will know about it the next day, and everyone will hear will know about it the day after that.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. I felt it something. Go ahead upstairs. Yeah, there's a loft upstairs.
Somebody if we go upstairs.
Well, Claire, okay.
No, if she's good at dancing, we could put her in.
No, that's fine.
So we put a 6-inch block and put his.
porcupine, lots of wild turkeys.
Yeah.
But I know they make themselves scarce as soon as the hunting season. They seem to know. There was a deer just walking along here, and then there were 2 last night just on the top of the septic bed.
Yeah.
Not shy at all.
So Paul, just for your knowledge, this fence line that goes in behind, that is the property line behind the cabin.
Yeah.
And then the property line goes down and hits the lake back on the other side of the cabin. So that's the 20 acres, so we'll take a little buzzer up and take a look at 30 acres.
Well, I'm glad that we decided to do it this way, Gord, because you're giving a really good description of your property, that's for sure.
So when we were building the road, we decided that this is a perfect turnaround spot for both properties. There's a survey stake just on my left-hand side, which is on the west, and so perfect place to push snow. Each owner, if there were 2 owners to these properties, would come in and go out on their own property, and this would just be a turnaround spot. So what we do now is we did the center of the roadway is the west property and the east property, and so you're driving in your own property and driving out in your own property.
Okay.
So where we're sitting is where we brought the end of the gravel road. So you have a 4-season road from the pavement to both pieces of property.
Okay.
The hydro is for both pieces of property to use. The access is surveyed and deeded so that both parties have use of the hydro. We can barely see a roof to the west of us. That's the sideline of this property. Yes. And so the island that we looked at from the dock is that piece of rock straight in front of us. And I'm going to go up and give you another view. Well, maybe I'll go down first. I'm going to show you the access at the water. You can see the trail go down through here where the deer come down, approximately. And then there's the island that we were looking at to the west.
No, it wasn't. It was really close to the end. There was a little bay. We used to go bullfrog hunting in there. And I'm trying to think of the guy's name. I'll think of it before we finish the trip here. So. No, not.
Alone has ground spikes in there and the builders.
You know what? The guy eventually sold. He went off his road. You're right. And they were there a long time. I'll think of his name and you'll definitely know who it is.
Third spot that I'd be building if I were going to build in this property is just on this side of those 2 white chairs that are sitting up on top of that hill.
Yeah.
Because when I take you back up there and we sit in the truck and look back this way, it's just another amazing view.
Yeah, right.
And again, that's why we brought the hydro to the edge of that field where we drove in, because it's either one pole or straight underground, and hydro's right there. To the west, it's all cedars and like a deer habitat to our left-hand side. Yeah. Between here and there's a gentleman called Keith Irwin has that little house that you can just see the roof on the far side. Okay. That's the closest neighbor. Okay. So if we can take those chairs that are lying down at the focal point, then we can go back to the north corner of the property and look towards that, which that's about halfway from the north side of the property to the lake. And so when we go back here and we look up on that hill, we see a stake. That's the north line. And we own everything to the west to that little house. So everything we look at on the east, and the far side you can just barely see the road coming down the hill. So that's part of this property. So the little chunk of field runs down there, and then field runs down over here. And those are the same chairs we saw from the water, and that's kind of the general area that I was saying that would be a third location that could be built on sometime. With all this property, it'd be perfect to run horses or animals. Or...
So there's certainly options here. You've got 2 nice pieces of property.
Yeah. So when we're sitting here, this would be one site that I'd suggest for a home. Probably build down in the valley here and build a walkout, but you get the view coming around that island off the main end of the lake, and you still get the whole view of the bay. It'd be nice to find somebody that has the same feeling for the property as I have, because I tell you, I thoroughly enjoyed working on it last fall, and it's one of the most amazing properties I've ever seen. Well, there's somebody out there that's saying, I wish I knew where this piece of property was, and it's sitting here, and this film that you're making would be the tool to bring them together.
So I believe it would be nice if it was done promptly too, you know?
Yeah. So after we bought the property, we moved all this fence line out to the property line. It used to run in through the field and tidied up all this field. The road originally was just a farmer's path that came in over on the other side of the hydro pole. So we moved it over here, widened the entrance, and put in a four-season road. "10 minutes from Perth, 10 minutes or 7 minutes from the golf course, and 10 minutes from fine dining."
Doesn't get any better.
There's a lot of work, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But the cabin, you know, it can be opened up early in the spring and be closed up late in the fall.
Yeah.
You know, you got four-season access by road to get to it. If they want to come up at Christmas time, warm it up and use it.
For sure. Beautiful view, and then you've got your log cabin to the right. This is the Parcel 1.
Oh, okay. The one that was behind the log cabin, that was Parcel 2?
That was Parcel 2.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And this is the easternmost parcel, and it's 20 acres. And we've got some shoreline here. It's very very quiet property, beautiful. Like Gord said, this is that's a nice island over here where you see the boats. Okay, this fence line here is the east side of Parcel A, which is 20 acres. And if you pan along here and look at the cedars down here, that's a high point. And you could put a four-wheel track in here to get over there. And then as you swing, look, this is beautiful. This would be a nice spot even higher up here to put a home. In fact, I would say this is the focal point of the whole property. And this channel over here takes you from Bennett Bay into Bennett Lake. Let's see, the west end of Parcel A, 20 acres right here. This is a beautiful, beautiful view. Quiet, it's just unbelievable. And like wonderful fishing in Bennett Bay, and also Bennett Lake is incredible for walleye, bass, large and smallmouth. It's about 5 mile long. Very, very nice lake. Back here a little farther, Travis. Lord.